So winter is around the corner, approximately a month and a half away, but I wanted to get this video out. This is my top 20 favorite designer fragrances for winter 2018 and going into 2019. This time around, I did not include any private blend exclusive collection fragrances. These are all from regular lineup of fragrances from the designers. So if you want to find out what they are, stick around. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Let's jump right into the list. As I said, winter is around the corner, but we've got about a month and a half approximately before it really hits and it really gets cold for winter. So I wanted to get this list out in advance as the time is creeping up, and I'm actually planning to be gone for winter myself. I'm traveling to the UK and France, going back to France finally after 2.5 years. I can't wait. And UK, I haven't been to the UK since 2010. I'm totally ready for it. But I wanted to get this video out. As I said, I'll have the niche edition in a couple of weeks after this, or maybe even next weekend. But a couple of things before also, I wanted to include some of these fragrances in fall video, and I didn't include it. A lot of them are more intense or more appropriate for winter. Some of them can go back and forth, and actually I might have included 1 or 2 that are on the fall list on here as well. We're gonna get started right off the bat with this one from the house of TRUSSARDI. This is the Black Rose, this one right here. Now this one's all about rose, leathery saffron, a bit of oud, and some ambery touches. From a house that's very underrated, and they've recently revamped and are releasing fragrances again. And this one's definitely not a disappointment. I really like it a lot. It's at the bottom because I have a lot better fragrances than this, but I wanted to include it and do a bit of a shout out for this house. I did a haul video when I mentioned this fragrance in the past. I picked it up at the Milan duty free, and it was about 75 euros there, and I got a discount over there. So 75 euros probably kind of configures to about $95, but these are at the discounters. Currently you can find them for about $50, $60. If you like the rose, leathery, saffron, oud, slightly ambery combo, definitely check out the Black Rose from TRUSSARDI. Go into another rose and oud fragrance. This time it's the house of CAMUTO. This is smoked oud. Now I did a video about this one and their other oud that's discontinued recently, but I picked this one for this list. I only wanted to include one of the designer fragrances from the ouds from CAMUTO. I wanted to include this one because I like the jammy rose, and I find it very appropriate for winter, whereas the other oud I find more appropriate for fall, if that makes sense. But this one's got this depth to it, this heavy stickiness from the ambery, jammy rose in here. But to me, it's more rose than oud, even though it's called smoked oud. Should have been called smoked rose and oud, I think, personally. But I still like this fragrance. It is all about rose and hints of oud. If you like an inexpensive rose and oud combo, more rose than oud, check this one out. I bought mine for about $46 on the discounters. So that one's number 19. At number 18, we're going to the house of VARVATOS. This is Dark Rebel Rider, this one right here. Now this one I included, I should turn this one around. This one I included on here and not Dark Rebel because I find Dark Rebel more appropriate for fall, and this one I find more appropriate for winter. It has more depth and heaviness to it compared to the other one. But out of the two, I prefer the other over this, but I wanted to include this one in here as well because I like this leather. It's a bit ambery, slightly sweet, but a bit animalic leather. And I like these bottles too. I like the fact that they dress them up in these kind of leathery, unique creations. But if you're looking for an inexpensive leather, because you can find these at the discounters for quite inexpensively, check this one out. It is from VARVATOS, and this is Dark Rebel Rider at number 18. At number 17, a new fragrance that I recently featured in my haul video. This is from the house of VIKTOR and ROLF, and this is SPICEBOMB. I'm kind of getting back into this fragrance, and I like this fragrance because of the spices. This was actually also recently featured in my spicy fragrances video, top 20 spicy fragrances video, and definitely a great designer release. I never personally wore a whole bottle because at one point I was given such a big collection of samples from one of the stores I go to. I never bought a bottle, but I did review it from a sample on the previous channel. So finally I found a deal at the outlet store for L'Oreal, and I picked it up. And I enjoy it. It's perfect for winter, I think. Although I think some might think that the what do you call it, the intense version might be appropriate, but I find this one to be perfect. Nice balance for both fall and winter. So if you like spicy tobacco fragrances, check out SPICEBOMB from VIKTOR and ROLF, and this one is number 17. At number 16, go into the house of Gucci Guilty Absolute. Now this is a love it or hate it fragrance. I absolutely love it. It's at the bottom of the list because it is a bit tough to wear, but I do like it. It's cold and it's a bit abrasive. Leather is animalic, and you've got vetiver in there. A very challenging fragrance for some. Loved by perfumistas who love these daring fragrances. Very daring for a designer to release something like this. There's a rumor it's been discontinued if it hasn't already, but if you like this sort of thing, definitely pick it up. It is a great, great release. It works great in the winter cold as well. So this is Gucci Guilty Absolute at number 16. At number 15, which I might have included on my fall video, but I found it to be very nice in cold weather. This is AZZARO pour Homme Intense. The reason I include this one here as well, I just absolutely in love with this fragrance. I need to buy a big bottle of it, but I love the way that it works in the cold. In the cold, it works great. Plus, I like the fact that it touches on the classic AZZARO pour Homme, but it adds the intense boozy touches, and I absolutely love boozy fragrances, and I find boozy fragrances to be perfect for winter for some odd reason. Something about it just gives me this kind of a cozy feel, and this is awesome, awesome. Very underrated, I think. Hopefully soon I'll do a full review of it, and so look for this one. You can find it at the discounters as well for pretty inexpensive. So if you like classic touches of AZZARO pour Homme, but you want it to be a little modern with boozy touches, AZZARO pour Homme Intense is perfect. Check that one out. That's at number 15. At number 14, we're going to the house of Robert Graham, and this is Fortitude. Now, I included Valor in my fall list, I believe, but I wanted to include Fortitude because I find it a bit heavier and more appropriate for winter rather than fall, and it's very ambery tobacco to me. Slight bit animalic as well. Very, very light hints of animalic touches, but it's also on the sweeter side, which makes it a lot cozier and more appropriate for winter. This is a very, very underrated fragrance and very inexpensively found. If you like ambery, sweet tobacco, slightly gourmandy fragrances, definitely try Fortitude. It is a really, really delicious fragrance. So that is from Robert Graham, Fortitude at number 14. At number 13, we're going to the house of Valentino, and this is UOMO Noir Absolu. So it is great. It's a great release. Although I was actually comparing it to a niche fragrance that had launched 3 years prior to this that I thought was very similar. Now that fragrance is no longer. If you're curious to find out what it is, go to my video review of this and you can hear. That fragrance that I was comparing it to has been completely redone, and they've relaunched it as a complete new scent. But here now we have an original scent, and I love it. It's all about sandalwood here. Nothing like the original or the intense. It kind of goes into a different direction, which I really like. There's a bit of a spicy cumin touch in here as well, and I think it's appropriate for winter. So Valentino UOMO Noir Absolu is at number 13. At number 12, we're going to the house of Mugler, and unfortunately I only included one Mugler on this list. This is Pure Havane, this one right here. Now this one happens to be Ashley's favorite Mugler. She loves the combo of the honey and tobacco, and I like it too. I actually include this one on here because I find it to be more potent than Pure Malt. Pure Malt I really love, but I found it to be like it's been reformulated, it's been thinned out or something, so I didn't include it here, but definitely wanted to include this one because I think it's perfect for winter as a designer fragrance. And if you like gourmand, sweet fragrances, tobacco, things like that, honey, definitely one to try. So this is Pure Havane from Mugler, very, very popular fragrance, and that's at number 12. Number 11, going back to Valentino, and this is UOMO Intense, this one right here. This one actually really love, really absolutely love this one, much more than the original, and I find it kind of getting similar to the things like DIOR Homme Parfum, things like that. But this is its unique, I mean, it hints at those fragrances. It's not identical, but it's its unique creation. And I love this one. It's got like hazelnut and iris and slightly gourmand touches, but very nice and perfect for winter, I think. This is actually very popular in the community, so if you haven't tried it yet, definitely do try it. So this is Valentino UOMO Intense at number 11. And going to the top 10 list, starting off at number 10 with Bentley for Men Intense. Man, this is so good. It is such a great scent. Last year I had a little remaining in an old bottle that I just put aside and never really used. So I took it on a trip and I was thinking I'd use it up on my winter trip and then throw it away after and don't have to bring it back, if that makes sense. Sometimes you leave things behind because it's heavy. And an empty bottle is exactly what I do. And I wore it to death on that trip and it smells so good. In the winter it smells great. I think I find it to be definitely a combo of both fall and winter wear because it is more on the potent side. And the dry down is amazing, and the sillage, the trail is also amazing. And then the wind hits your face and you've warmed up your body, and you can smell this like beautiful dry down. Boozy, beauty actually. Now the original fragrances, I'm not necessarily saying it was inspired, but there are fragrances out there called Chambre Noire and Lubin Idole. Those fragrances kind of smell like this. I do have a video comparing the three if you're curious to find out. But this is an inexpensive one. Get it if you haven't. This is niche quality at an expensive designer price. So Bentley for Men Intense at number 10. Next we go into the house of Costume National. Now I included Homme in the fall video, but on the winter video I'm including Soul, this one right here. This one's targeted unisex. Homme is targeted masculine or for men, but I found Homme to be a bit more unisex smelling, and I find this one to be more masculine smelling. But then again, I don't think there's really any gender with perfumes. It's like if you like the way it smells, wear it. But this one is very ambery, oudy, kind of beefy, woody fragrance. Very, very potent, very long lasting for a designer, and it smells great. It does have this like Oriental, Middle Eastern kind of inspired smell, which I like. And it's created by Dominique Ropion, as is Costume National Homme. So he's a great, great perfumer. I love a lot of his fragrances. This is one doesn't disappoint, and it's perfect in the winter. If you don't know it, check it out. This is Costume National Soul at number 9. Now this next one I think I find a little more appropriate for fall, but I wanted to include it because I can't get enough of it. It's so good. This is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extrême. Man, it's so delicious. I've been sleeping on this one. I loved it. I wore it back in the day and I forgot about it. I recently rediscovered it. When I wore it, it was just something I liked, but then I got into that Edition Blanche and I put everything aside. I was like, this is so good. But now I've rediscovered this one and it just seemed to love it. I don't find this to be very long-lasting personally. A lot of Chanel fragrances are not. This one, with some extra spraying, it's fine for winter. I find it to be more appropriate for fall, but I just can't get enough of the smell. It's so good. It is really, really good. Now it's become my favorite out of the Allure Homme collection of fragrances. This one can't be beat. So if you don't know Allure Homme Sport Eau Extrême, definitely try it. It's really, really delicious. Then that's at number 8. At number 7, going to the house of Gucci again, and this is Gucci Intense Oud. One of the best designer oud fragrances that's not part of a exclusive or private collection. Although it is on the pricier side, it's about $130 for a 75 or 80 ml bottle. And it's becoming scarce. I was looking online recently, no discounters, and also none of the department stores had it, and although Saks and Bloomingdale's used to have them online, not in store here in San Francisco. And I also went to Gucci and I asked in there and they didn't have it either, so they told me that they're just replenishing a lot of their perfumes. I don't know what that means, but I just hope it's not being discontinued. So a lot of people are also complaining about reformulation. It's a similar story to Dior Homme Parfum. I don't know if that is the case because I still find this to be performing excellently on me, but if you guys are curious, do some research to find out. Perhaps I will too. But Gucci told me that it's not discontinued, so there you go. The Gucci store, that is. Anyway, Gucci Intense Oud at number 7, a great, great oud designer fragrance. At number 6, going to the house of Dior, this is Eau Sauvage Parfum, this one right here, the 2017 edition. I wanted to include this. I love this scent, although I don't, well, no, I'm not going to say I don't like it as much as the 2012 edition. I just find this one to be a little lighter, not as potent as the previous edition, but smell-wise it's very, very close. It just adds more citrusy touches to it. But I think I find it still to be very appropriate for winter wear, especially when it's cold outside. If you like that combo of citruses, vetiver, resinous notes, and so forth, this is really, really good. A great, great flanker to the original Eau Sauvage. To me, they don't smell much alike, even though it's kind of utilizing a few of the same notes, but a perfect winter scent here. This is Eau Sauvage Parfum 2017 at number 6. At number 5, going to the house of LALIQUE. This is Encre Noir à l'Extrême, this one right here. Beautiful, sexy, classy, masculine vetiver, although I don't think it's that masculine that women can't wear it. It comes close to Chanel Sycamore, and it's a great, great release. I've heard from people say that it doesn't perform as well, but oh well. Smells great. And this is also, I think this is also a bit, people have said that there's an oudy quality to it. I don't find oud listed in the notes, but then again, I think maybe some combination of notes create an accord of like smelling like oud. But that's fine, but it's a great scent. Vetiver lovers, give this one a chance if you haven't yet. And if you love LALIQUE Encre Noir, the original, this one will not disappoint. Encre Noir à l'Extrême, very inexpensive to find at number 5. Number 4, going to the house of ISSEY MIYAKE. This is L'Odyssée Noir Ombre, this one right here. Now this one actually I brought back from Europe back in 27 early, and now it's sort of available here. I don't know if it's that readily available or if it really got an official release, but it's available at duty-free airports, and one of the best designer amber fragrances, hands down. Really, really good quality, top-notch quality amber, and it's really, really perfect for winter wear. I find it to be excellent. This has become my number 1 favorite ISSEY MIYAKE fragrance. I don't even have any other ISSEY MIYAKE fragrances except for the second release from this series called Or Encens, which is the incense fragrance. So there you go. This is to die for. If you can get your hands on it, do get some samples or decants to test it, and then look for a bottle because it won't disappoint. That's at number 4. This is Noir Ombre. At number 3, going to the house of Dior again, and this is Fahrenheit Le Parfum. So the rumor, I don't want to spread rumors because I was accused of spreading rumors and causing hysteria or whatever recently for my Dior Homme Parfum video I did. But there's also rumors that this is discontinued. It's just availability is very, very limited here in the States along with Dior Homme Parfum. So what's causing that not being available? So a lot of people say it's really not available, and a lot of people say it's really available. This is available on Sephora France website, so it's there. Going to Europe, as I said, I'm going to look for this one and Dior Homme Parfum. But get into the fragrance itself. It is a very, very delicious recreation of Fahrenheit. It's a boozy, vanillic, leathery fragrance. It's perfect for winter, perfect scents for winter. If you like a boozy, if you like a vanillic, and you like that Fahrenheit leathery violet DNA, this one's definitely one for you to try. So this is Fahrenheit Le Parfum at number 3. At number 2, going to the house of Tom Ford. This is the first Tom Ford on here, I think. This is Ombre Leather, this one right here. This has become such a great fragrance for me. It is to die for. This leather is amazing. It was launched initially in 2016 as a limited, as part of a runway show they did in New York, I think, and then it was shelved. It was limited, and then they brought it back in this bottle. It's beautiful leather, not as heavy, not as intense, not as industrial smelling as Tuscan leather, and this one has the raspberry touches even more, and boy, it's so good. It's perfect for winter. It is absolutely perfect for winter. It is on the pricier side. It's almost 200, although I think it's 175 for 100 ml, so it's getting close to 200 after tax and things like that, but you won't be disappointed with this one. It's so good. So if you like leather fragrances on the fruity raspberry side, check out Tom Ford Ombre Leather. It's so good. And you guessed it, my number 1 is Dior Homme Parfum. Yes, I did do that video recently. I was approached by so many people that they can't find any of this fragrance anywhere. And one of the things was, I've gotten decants, I've worn it, and I love it, but nowhere to be found. These are all Americans, and my audience here is mostly the States, so I've got about 50% viewership from the States. And these people are having a difficult time finding this. People that are not connected in the fragrance community, you know, things like that, they're just basically viewers of my channel. And I was trying to figure out what's going on. So according to a lot of people, it's not discontinued. Some people say it is, it's very limited. So we don't know, but if you can get your hands on this, get it. It's amazing. It's the best designer fragrance, and it's been in my number 1 for designer list for a long time. I can't get enough of it. It does have the lipsticky touch. Recently, a contact of mine told me they don't like the lipsticky quality of this one, but that's what I like about it. It's lipsticky, it's rosy, it's leathery, it's sexy, musky, it's so good. and it's perfect for winter. I love this one and I can't get enough of it. Get me some backups. I'm going to do it when I'm in Europe because there's that fear of it being discontinued. So if you haven't yet tried Dior Homme Parfum, please do. It's awesome. So Dior Homme Parfum at number 1. There you go. As I said, I did not include any fragrances from the private blends or exclusives or privé collections and things like that. This was all designer, easily available, although some are kind of more difficult to find, like the Gucci and the Dior Homme and the Fahrenheit, but most of them should be very, very easy to get, and a lot of them are at discounters, so get them while you can at cheap prices. I'll have links to FragranceNet, Amazon, and Fragrance X if you're curious to try any of them. But guys, let me know what you're wearing this winter. Are these perfect for winter? Do you like these fragrances or do you hate them? Are any of them on your hate list? Probably Gucci Guilty Absolute. But are any of the other ones on your hate list? Let me know, put some comments down. Let's get a conversation started. Other than that, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.